If you haven't logged into your WordPress website, type your site's domain name into the address bar in your browser and add a /wp-admin and hit enter. You should now see a login form where you'll enter the username and password you created during the WordPress install. Once you've logged in, you should be redirected to your WordPress dashboard. You'll see a menu on the left-hand side and several boxes on the right. Those boxes on the right are just kind of an overhead look at your site. You'll see things like activity and news in this section. On the left, you have a list of menu items, including dashboard, posts, media, pages, etc. For the sake of time, we'll just hit on the main sections you'll be interacting with the most, and we'll go more in depth in future videos. Most of this is pretty self-explanatory. For example, the posts section is where you create new posts, for a blog, for instance. Pages is where you make new pages for your site, like an About Us page or a Contact Us page. Media is where all your pictures and videos live, and it's where you'll upload new pictures and videos as well. We'll talk more about that in later videos. Appearance is where you would go to change your theme, customize your site with WordPress's customizer, create navigation menus, add widgets, and more. We'll go more in depth into widgets in a separate video in the course. The plugins section is where you would go to search for and install new plugins for your site. Think of plugins as apps. Plugins in WordPress are similar to what apps are to an iPhone or Android. Again, we have an entire video dedicated to understanding and using plugins. Perhaps two of the most important sections to understand as a new WordPress user are the Tools and Settings sections. These two can be confusing when you're first starting out, so let me explain the difference. The Tools section is a place where you can import content from another WordPress site or export your site's content. Sometimes certain plugins will go here after you install them, but other than that, you shouldn't have to use the Tools section very much. The Settings section, on the other hand, is one of the most important sections of the dashboard, and it isn't always easy to understand where certain settings live. For instance, you'll notice there's a Writing and Reading subsection under Settings. Writing is where the settings that pertain to the writer of the posts live, and Reading is where the settings that affect the reader live. Again, the naming convention isn't always intuitive, so you want to explore a bit in your settings to make sure you have everything the way you want. One of the things you may want to check in your settings right now is the permalinks section. This section determines how URLs, or permalinks, show up to other people. Under Common Settings, you'll notice a few different options for displaying permalinks, but most modern sites go with the post name setting here, mainly because it makes things simpler and easier to understand, and because search engines tend to like this structure better. That about covers the WordPress dashboard for now. In the next few videos, we'll go in depth into the most important aspects of each of the sections found in the WordPress dashboard and how to understand and use them with confidence.